you can get any of the video footage that the ROV takes of all the organisms that live wherever we're exploring, and do your own analysis on things like the abundance and diversity of life that we find where we have done ROV dives. Video footage that the ROV takes of all the organisms that live wherever we're exploring, and do your own.
Much.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah, great.
Yes.
Perfect.
Hi.
We can't hear you.
Hello.
Did you hear that?
Yes. Do you hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
Hi. How are you? Hi.
We can't hear you.
Hello.
Did you hear that?
Yes. Do you? I'm Maria Paula, and I'm a biology student. I would want to ask a question for the student. How has been your experience there? Have you enjoyed a lot? What have you
We're
learned?
just starting out. Can you repeat the last part?
What have you learned the most about the experience?
Well, I'm just starting out. We're learning about the mapping, like Derek said earlier, all the mapping processes that are being done, the sonar and the multi-beam. So it is very interesting, and it's very different being on on land. Learning this way is a lot more hands-on, and it's really enjoyable. It's a great experience.
I mentioned wanting to speak for Monday.
Yeah, and we really just didn't start. We just left port last night. So we're just getting our hands dirty here.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope you enjoy it a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Laura, and I wanted to ask if it is possible for the ROV vehicle to take sedimentary samples that are useful for dating or for like paleontological studies.
Can you say that one more time, please?
I wanted to know if the ROV vehicle is capable of taking samples that are useful for dating and for paleontological studies.
Okay, thank you. It depends on the sample, but the short answer is yes, it can be. When we take a rock sample, we usually have several marine geologists on watching the dive while it's happening and advising the ROV pilot where to take the sample, what specific rocks to collect, so that we can make sure that they're most useful to as many scientists as possible. So if they're trying to collect a sample to get an age on rocks, they usually have a particular place or type of rock in mind and can help guide us and where we take that sample.
So as you may know,
environment in the Pacific, we just were, is incredibly complicated, and we don't really understand a lot of what's going on there. So the scientists were picking to understand what's going on for the Central and Western Pacific.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. I am Jesus. I am a last graduate student of biology. I am interested in public health, and my question is related to that. It's a little bit well known that there are some kinds of drugs for humans isolated from natural resources as a sponge or invertebrates, among others. Thinking about this perspective on human health, how this exploration could bring benefits to humanity.
So are you talking about the potential medicinal value of deep sea organisms?
Yes.
We definitely have a very strong interest in that, and very closely with researchers and labs have a focus on trying to understand some of the potential medicinal applications of deep sea sponges in particular. And so we do collect specimens or portions of animals to try to understand them better. I would say that we're pretty early on in that, but we do have some partnerships that are trying to build momentum for doing more work along those lines, recognizing that there is a lot of potential for new medicines and new compounds that could be very important. We did some medicinal research with Dr. Shirley Pomponi, who's the doctor that the scientist that Derek's referencing back in 2003, and still work with her quite a bit, and she's been on missions doing collections for her laboratory. Also, Juan, in the book that I sent to you, the link that I sent to you, Why Do We Explore? There's a diving deeper section that has several pages on ocean and human health and lists a number of different organisms and their potential medicinal value to humans. So you might have your students take a look at that.
Yes, I really do. Okay, thank you.
Hi,
Hello.
my name is Maria Elena, and I want to know how have human activities influenced the deep sea communities.
Ella habla español, son
Pues no.
Okay. Yeah, I would say there's things that we can see is clearly influencing, and then there's some hidden things that we're learning about through other research that's definitely influencing the deep sea. So some of the things that we see on our trips, we frequently see trash almost anywhere we go, and you just never know when you're going to come across plastics in particular, just trash from all different time periods. And we've certainly seen that all over the world in every area of the deep sea that we've explored. Certainly, as you get closer to coastlines and major cities, you're much more likely to obviously see the trash in the ocean, even at the deep sea bed. And then more research coming to light recently about things like drastic sinking and shipping and easy changes to ocean chemistry and temperatures. So there's a lot of changes going on, and I think we're just beginning to understand that what we do very, very far away still influences the deep sea. It's important to remember that a lot of where we're exploring, we don't know very much or if anything about, and there are places where we're fishing where we're not really sure what's going on with fish populations, even down in the depths of the ocean. So understanding the ecology of what's happening there so that we can sustain the fisheries that humans are utilizing.
Okay, thank you.
Potential for invasive species. We don't know what we don't know. So there's a lot going on down there that we're just starting to get baseline information on in order to understand human impacts going forward.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, my name is Amalia. I'm another student, biology student. I have a question regarding environmental education. I saw that NOAA's and the exploration in particular has several publications designed.
So originally with this ship, when this was commissioned in 2008, our focus was to provide materials on why we're exploring the ocean, why it's important to look at this information about, and the technology behind it, how we explore it, in order to make sure students and teachers understand the engineering and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics behind how all these explorations take place and how we explore the ocean. But in the bigger picture of what we're doing in NOAA as a whole and as marine science educators across the globe is working towards increasing ocean literacy, increasing our understanding of our influence on the ocean and the ocean's influence on us, so that we can all be better stewards of the planet. And ultimately, that's the environmental education goal.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Juan again. I just wanted to ask you if you can point us in your map, what is your position at this moment in the Caribbean? Thank you.
Sure. We are approximately 100 nautical miles north of the Panama Canal. So on the screen back here, there's a white hand or a white dot, and on the Google Earth map, and that shows you where we are. Yeah. Don't know if you can, but yeah, we're still in Panamanian waters, and we should be entering Colombian waters at about 8 p.m. tonight.
Awesome. Hi, my name is Andres. I am a student of biology and psychology. I'm like Amalia, I'm really interested to know the process to education process. So I want to know how is the process to show the topics with the educators, and if you get some feedback about their experience, and yes, how do you try to improve like this material or their experience?
Are you asking what is the student's experience using our program's educational materials?
Yes, but also how the educators can choose right the material for their students, or how they can improve that with their class.
Sorry, we still didn't completely understand your question. We couldn't quite make out what you were saying.
Okay, my point is, I think it's really hard for a teacher like chose the correct topic for their student to try and get their student get involved. So my question is how you choose the topic and some activities for get the student will be more interesting.
I understand. I think I understand what you're asking. You're asking, there's so many different topics, so and a teacher has to be selective. So how do we choose which topics we try to highlight for the classroom? Is that accurate?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. As I mentioned, we selected two very broad topics focused on over the 10 years or so. One, why do we explore the ocean? And two, how do we explore the ocean? And the lessons that we've selected to encourage teachers to utilize in the classroom broadly cover climate change, energy, ocean health, and human health. And the How Do We Explore book covers the exploration strategy. So the fact that we have telepresence technology that allows us to do what we're doing in here with you, the fact that we have multi-beam sonar capabilities, that we have water column exploration capability with CTDs, conductivity, temperature, and depth meters, and that we have remotely operated vehicles and the science behind the remotely operated vehicles. So what we're trying to do is give teachers the idea that there are multiple modern reasons why we're exploring the ocean, and encourage their students to understand the technologies, the modern technologies behind why we're exploring the ocean. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are so important in the classroom today that it's important that we help teachers with the right tools to bring that information into the classroom. It's also important that they understand that science is very much multidisciplinary science. So one doesn't go into marine science learning only biology. One goes into marine science, as you guys know, learning the physical oceanography, the chemical oceanography, the geological oceanography, and the biology. And learning how to mix all of those things together and how they work together. What Derek is holding up are the two books that I gave to your instructors who want in electronic form. And there's a whole lot of really good information in there. But generally, that's the reason that we chose the topics that we chose to highlight. Classroom use and other marine science education programs that choose a number of different topics that don't have to do with the deep sea. They might focus on shallow water coral reefs, whereas we focus on deep water coral reefs. They might focus on coastal zones and coastal zonation, whereas we might be focusing on seamounts and zonation within seamounts. So we're just doing a different part of the ocean than a lot of other marine science programs do.
Thank you so much.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Juliana, and I was wondering. We know that it's difficult to make hypotheses on what you will find or what you may find at the deep sea. But I would like to know, what do you expect to find on this expedition in terms of energy, for example?
I don't know if we'll find anything. I'm not expecting any discoveries of energy in particular. And I assume by energy you might mean something related to oil and gas, but we do always, pretty much wherever we take the ship, we are trying to discover as much as we can. And given the fact that most of the oceans are either not mapped or very poorly mapped, a lot of our focus initially is to get at least good maps of the seafloor and the sea features in the water column to do that initial baseline characterization so that we have a better understanding of what's there, first of all. So this cruise, we will hopefully have a little bit of extra time towards the end before we get to Florida to map an area of interest. So that may be, if we have permission to go into Cuba, there's some interesting seamounts that we would like to gather information over. If it's in the United States, south of Florida, there's some very interesting areas that appear to be very important for deep sea coral habitat that we would like to map better. And that helps our deep sea ecologists understand where these things like deep sea corals are found, what type of oceanographic conditions they live in, and have better predictive models about where they are likely to be and how sensitive they are to human activity. The expedition directly following this expedition will be leaving Florida and going through the Gulf of Mexico, and will probably be in more areas where we have gas and oil seeps, and we'll be doing more analysis of those corals that Derek mentioned in those regions. Right. This is a pretty short trip, mostly to get the ship up to where we need to be for our next series of expeditions. And like Susan mentioned, we'll be doing a lot of very focused explorations of interesting features with the remotely operated vehicles. So a lot of good video and samples to inform science.
Awesome, thank you. Hi.
Hello.
My name is Maria Angela, and I was wondering which are the requirements for the young scientists on board. Should they have any prior experience in ocean exploration?
Talk about your particular experience with marine science.
Well, for the grant that I got a grant through NOAA for my graduate studies, and I applied to my graduate school, and through that I heard about options, and I applied to the particular program for ocean studies, ocean exploration, ocean coastal or environmental sciences. And I spoke with an advisor, and from there I interviewed with my advisor that was on the grant, and from there we kind of just, it worked out to where he liked the background that I had, and the application process is fairly not too complicated. Once you interview with an advisor that has that connection with the grant, I believe it is fairly simple, but I don't know how it is for every university. Through mine, my advisor had been on the grant for a while now. He had students that had previously been on the grant that had been funded. And the project that I am working on for my thesis is through a project that one of his past students on this grant has done. So I believe it's really just an interview process and getting selected, making sure you have the right background information in it.
Okay, thank
and I'd just add for students that come to see, we usually like to see a very firm commitment, an interest in marine science. It doesn't have to be ocean mapping per se. It just has to be a desire to serve scientist or manager of marine resources and get that hands-on experience, and either continue your education or your career track. We really want this to be a stepping stone to help you in your career.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Carolina, and I'm chemical engineer, and I study to microbiology, and I wanna ask you something. So, when you decide to start a new expedition, how do you choose your teamwork? I mean, the teamwork that is going to be on board.
For the whole time party. Yeah. Usually for a mapping cruise, we have people that can help us gather the mapping data, or we can train them at sea on how to do that. For the cruises where we do remotely operated vehicle exploration work, a lot of the space on the ship has to be used by the team, the engineers that run those. They're very complicated systems, and the chairs that are surrounding us on one of those cruises are full of people. So we usually have a person that's helping coordinate the movements of the vehicles down on the seafloor with the motion of the ship way above, keeping them together. We have a pilot for the lead vehicle, a co-pilot for the other vehicle, and we have videographers that help capture the best imagery and share that through videos online and good still photographs. We have 2 scientists usually that we can take to sea, so there's enough room on the ship to take 2 lead scientists. And their job is really to provide their own expertise, but also to gather expertise from scientists participating remotely. So we have videos of the dives going on while they're happening over the internet. And we have a conference call with scientists calling in. And also, they can enter into a database what they're seeing as the sea stars or deep sea corals or something. They can provide their input and help us identify what we're seeing as the dive is happening. So there's not really a lot of extra room to take other scientists on a typical cruise. That's why we try to engage as many scientists as we can remotely.
Okay, so how many people used to be on board?
We should have about 22 to 25 crew and about 22 in the science party.
Okay, thank you.
And again, many of those are engineers and data managers and sample managers, videographers. So it's a broad spectrum of expertise that's needed.
Okay, super cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Hi, I am Trigal, a graduate
Hello.
student. I am finishing my master in biological sciences. And my question is about, as you know, for all of us, is known that there is a significant gender gap in science. So how do you promote gender equity in your scientific activities and through selection, political process, and all of that? Thank you.
I think we understand your question to mean how do we ensure equality of giving people opportunities to participate and come to sea on our expeditions. Is that correct?
Yes, focus on gender gaps.
Gender gaps specifically, yes. It's a good question. Honestly, typically we try to have just a balance of genders, and a lot of times, especially a lot of times in the cruises, it's very equal or even more women at sea than men on the science party. We're generally trying to get the best expertise that we can for each expedition. So it just tends to be very equal in terms of gender opportunities to participate. I'm not sure if in your experience you've seen a shift in the gender equality in oceanography and marine science as a whole. But in the U.S., we're really seeing it being a 50-50 gender split. There's a lot more women going into marine science than there used to be. And then from an ethnicity standpoint, we work towards trying to find role models for to a diversity and inclusion program, and working very hard to get students, underrepresented and underserved populations onto our ships and into our science. So it's a constant challenge, but we're dedicated to it.
Okay, thank you.
I will also say that the people that operate the NOAA ships, there's very typically a lot of the officers that help run these ships are probably about half women, half men on the ships themselves. So that's the crew that's running the ship.
Okay, thank you.
Noticing that I've been here, it is very equal. It's not one more than the other. It has been, I haven't noticed a lot of inequality or gender inequality or even ethnic inequality. It's been pretty neutral.
Okay, thank you, all of you.
Hi, this is Juan again. Well, this is everyone has spoken already. I have a question about what you guys are doing at the moment. If you can show us what kind of data are you collecting, and if you are looking at some particular environment in that Panamanian deep sea floor.
Okay, great. So all the data that we're collecting right now is especially from, well, we have meteorological sensors on the ship that most of the time collecting just information about the wind and the water characteristics. But what we focus on here in this room is really sonar data set. So this screen behind us, you can see, is actually the acquisition screen from our multi-beam sonar. Right now we are in 3,329 meters of water depth, so pretty deep ocean. And you can see that's actually a view of the seafloor, so it's about 7 kilometers wide. That's about 7 kilometers wide, that stripe right there. So that's what we can map for the terrain and one path of the ship in this water depth. Other sonars we have right now are looking at biology in the water column, so things like the deep biological scattering layer we can see, and we can actually quantify the strength.
Okay. Hello, I think we lost you for a moment. Hello?
Did you hear that answer?
Yeah, but the last 15 seconds, we lost you in the audio, but pretty much we got it. Oh, it's unbelievable. So you have 7 kilometers wide of multi-beam data? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys have a question for us.
Yeah, I guess I was curious what the structure of the class you're in is. Is it focused on ocean exploration? How do you explore topics of interest to your students?
Yeah, good. What's a good question? Well, this class is of the blended type. So there's a lot of work that the students have to do by themselves. And this is the whole chapter of deep sea. So we focus on the theoretical side on hydrothermal vents. And we we have another assignment, which is to follow deep sea explorations like Okeanos Explorer, the Nautilus from the Ocean Exploration Trust, or the Smith Ocean Institute, or any other, you know, expedition around, because it's the only way for us to access to deep sea exploration. But the idea is to be a little bit more hands-on than only, you know, read about it. So that's pretty much, and we really appreciate you guys taking the time of, you know, have a little hangout with us and answer, you know, our questions.
Great, we appreciate your time as well. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
All right, so thanks again, and we will be following you in the Gulf, and I hope you have a fantastic cruise, and I hope in the near future the permitting and all the stuff changes in Colombia, because it still is the less explored area in the Caribbean, and that's incredible. We're sorry about it.
Yes. Yeah, we're sorry we couldn't approach your country earlier, and certainly looks like a fascinating place. I was personally very excited for the Sea Flower Marine Protected Area, but hopefully future collaborations there. So we wish you all well, and have a great day, and thanks for following us.
All right, thanks everyone. It's fantastic hanging out with you. Have a nice cruise. See you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.